Greetings, 2020 Spring, Business 1360 Software Apps for Business. This is for the online section only. You've just completed your first week of assignments and your Word 1 assignments. So I wanted to show you the best ways to check feedback and also go over some important information for you. So I'm going to go to the login screen for PAWS, and I'm using this administrative login. You know that you can use either one of these, but for my, so I can log in as a student. In this way, in this way, our screens will look the same, and I hope that it will be easy for you to follow. Okay, so I'm logged into PAWS. I'm under this demonstration account, which is a pretend student. It's just for demo purposes only. And I'm going to go into our course in PAWS. Okay, there are multiple ways to look at your grade in PAWS. That's kind of typical of a lot of software. You can accomplish things in many different manners. One way that a lot of students use that will not work well for this class is they will click on this bell, especially if you see a red dot there. This is a notification, and when you click on it, it tends to show you very, very quickly your grade, 90%, 100%, 100%, but there's no feedback with it. You can't understand, why does this say 90%? So for our class, this does not work well, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to go to assessments. Now, under assessment, there are two different ways to look at grades. Because you have just completed your very first case file, I want to start by looking at assessment and then going back to that assignment to get the detailed feedback. So we're in our course in PAWS, we're under assignments and then assessment and then assignments. I'm going to click that. Okay. Here is the assignments that we're going to complete, and if you scroll down, there's Word, and there's going to be Excel assignments, and there's going to be PowerPoint assignments, all kinds of assignments here. But under Word cases, here's Word case 1. Okay, now I can already see some files that are attached. These are files that I'm going to need to complete the assignment, but it does not give me, all the information that I need, because now I've submitted the files. And over here it says completion status, and it said I only submitted one time, which you can submit multiple times. And in that one submission, I uploaded all 3 files. And it says that my score is an 18 out of 20. That I have feedback and that I've not read that feedback yet, so I need to do that. I do know at this point, though, that my score is an 18 out of 20, and I wonder, why did I lose those 2 points, right? So I'm going to click on my unread feedback. Okay, now I typically begin addressing you by name, and again, this is a demonstration account. There's no student associated with this, so I'm not breaking any confidence here, right? But this says demonstration account, demo account. In this example, points were deducted because, let's pretend that the Word document supposedly did not reflect the required step of changing memorandum to memo. So I try to tell you basically why you lost points. I give you a beginning paragraph, like what was the main problem or area that you might have struggled with, and then I provide a scorecard. So this says a scorecard is below, and when points are deducted, an explanation is provided. So this is the scorecard for Word Case 1. It says here's the task. Okay, so I was supposed to open and save this file where last name, this is the last name, was replaced with the student's last name, first name, is the student's first name, so I'm following these directions. And it looks like I did that correctly because I'm selecting this let me make this bigger so that you can see it. Because as I drag across here, just to show you, this is the line item that I'm looking at. It says the point value for this particular task was that I could have earned 2 points, and I earned 2 points. Now, if you only submitted one file, if you didn't submit the files that you were supposed to, then you would have lost points here, and there would be a note under this comments line. Here's another task that was part of the assignment instructions, and it looks like I completed that correctly. If I didn't, I do provide to you the page number in your book so that you can go back and say, now I didn't understand how to do that, so I'm pointing you to that instruction. But I do see I lost points. I have 0 here. And this was where the title was supposed to be changed from memorandum to memo. And it looks like maybe I just forgot that step. Maybe I didn't do any of this. In fact, if I got 0 points here, I must have missed every single part of this step. And so I just have a note here that said this task was not completed. And I would scan through this feedback looking for other steps that I may have had problems with, something like that. And then it's tallied up down here, total points. And it says out of 20 points, I only earned 18. Well, I say only. If you divide 18 by 20, you will find out that that equals 0.9, and so that's a 90%. So that's actually a pretty good grade. If I made an A, 90%, that's pretty good. 16 out of 20 is a B. These are just things that I do a lot. So that gives you the feedback that, that hopefully will help you answer any questions. Now, here's another thing that I like about coming into the feedback in this way. And just as a reminder, we went to assessments and assignments. Sometimes I will attach a picture to help you see where things went wrong. I have to say on this one, I did not attach any pictures to student feedback, but as we continue on, sometimes it's the situation where a picture is worth 1,000 words. And you will be able to download that picture and view that picture if you go under assessment and assignments to view it. You won't be able to see that in any other way. So for our class, this really is the best way to view your assignments. Not the little bell. I do know about the little bell, but that is just not enough information. So assessment, I'm going to click on done here, but assessment, assignments, and then we came to word case 1, and my feedback now says that I have read it. There's a lot of clickable things in here that you can explore. Now, what were some of the common mistakes that the class made? Well, first of all, let me say this. I don't think anyone should get discouraged or upset or become despairing at this point. You are new into the class, you're getting orientated. Depending on your experience with online classes and your comfort with using a web browser, it might take you a little bit more time than another student. For this reason, sometimes it's really helpful to form a study group. You can go into Pause and email your classmates under communication and class list. And you can email your classmates and say, I'd like to get together at the library on this date or this time. Can anybody join me? Sometimes it's very helpful to talk to somebody. You work independently and then you say, I'm stuck, and your classmate might be able to help you and vice versa, okay? But with these case assignments, you may currently be looking forward to working on case 2. When I say looking forward, you may not be excited about it, but you're planning, okay? You're planning. So the first thing that you would do is you would click on the assignment name. The reason you're going to do that is so that you can see the detailed instructions. Now, I gave you an overview of this in the first video I sent, but now it's a little bit more important and you see the relevance, right? So Step 1 says that I need to save these files to my local computer, and I encourage you to create a folder on your local computer or your removable drive to help you stay organized. Files that are attached to this assignment Dropbox that you will save to your local computer or removable drive and use to complete the exercise in accordance with the steps in your textbook are these files right here. In this case, it's just one, right? This memo file. It also says that they're going to have you, I'm just giving you a heads up there, they're going to have you start with a blank document, so you'll actually have another one. Now, what am I supposed to do next? You're supposed to open My IT Lab and log in. You're supposed to enter our course, click Course Materials. You're going to be patient. Remember, you have to be patient as you wait for the page to display. Critical note, and remember I warned you, you're going to fight with this all semester long. you must enable the pop-ups in your browser because you're constantly going to be prompted for those. You're going to then open the Word Chapter 2 eText folder, that folder, and open your eText. Then open the ebook so that you can follow the steps. Complete the steps in your ebook, pages 171 through 204. Okay, complete all the steps. Important. Look for those blue shaded boxes because that's where the steps are. Notice that the instructions are in the blue shaded boxes, but most include a link to the video. Okay, I'm going to tell you how I know that you're not watching the videos. Not all of you are. In fact, I would say the vast majority of you are not. I'm going to give you a really big tip. This one's an easy one. There's others that I could give you, but this one's an easy one. How many of you in the first Word assignment, when you had to put the file name up there in the header, how many of you just typed it? That was not correct. You were supposed to use a field called a quick part. And if you're saying to yourself right now, well, I saw that, I didn't know what they were talking about. What does that mean? I don't even know. I know. That's why you're taking a class, so that you can learn about that really cool feature, right? And you say, well, I couldn't understand. I didn't know where it was, right? Okay, so you click the link to the video, and the video is going to show you how to complete those steps. Okay, so I don't want you to make that mistake for Chapter 2. So I want to just show you that again. I'm going to pause the video for just a moment. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone to My IT Lab, and you have your instruction sheet, right? myitlab.com, and I've logged in as my demonstration account into our class. Okay, so this is a pretend student. Here's the class. I'm going to click on it to open it. Always be patient. And just as the instructions told me, I'm going to go to Course Materials. Isn't that what those pause instructions said? Go to Course Materials. I need to save the files. I haven't done that. Course Materials, be patient. Enable pop-ups. Do I have any pop-ups blocked? Nope. Okay, so I got to keep an eye on that. Here's Word Workshop 2. Here's my eText, and it said that I should open that, Word Chapter 2 eText. I've got this pop-up, and it came through successfully. I'm going to click the link there. Oh, it says I need to get Flash. And you may remember in the first video I had to do this also. Right-click to run. Okay, there it goes. Just have to be patient. So, some of these things you'll be prompted, and you'll have to do several times. And here's my ebook. Now, here's page 171, and it says I need to complete any steps between 171 and 2004. Look for the blue shaded boxes. So, this page, if I make it a little bit smaller to, let me fit page. Oh, that's a little small. How about fit width? Is just reading, and it's telling me, what's going on here. And I just want you to look at this. It says here are the starting files. Do these look familiar to you? I hope so, because when we were looking at pause, up here it said you're going to have 2 documents to begin. And it said that one of them was that memo file, and that I would also be using a blank document. And isn't that what the textbook says as well? Now, it says here that I'm going to, as I go through all the steps in this chapter, end up creating 2 files. And I wonder if I'm supposed to submit both of those files. And I'm jumping to the end of the instructions. Okay, let me show you where I'm at. Here was step 3. We opened the ebook. It said look for those blue shaded boxes. And then in step 4 of the instructions, it says before you submit the required files, always be aware of these very important notes to avoid point loss. Replace last with your last name and first with your first name. So a student named Anna Apples would submit W01CH01 Putz _ Apples Anna, because it's supposed to be last first. Failure to correctly name your file will cause you to lose points. You will never type the file suffix like .docx or .pdf. The reason is that the word software will automatically append the file suffix of .docx and even .pdf automatically when you save the file as this type of file. So you never type the suffix. The computer will do it for you. If you do type it, it will appear twice when you submit it into pause and you'll lose points. Here's another important point. Close all your open files except your browser window. Pause will not allow you to submit your work if you have the files open. So, whatever you're going to submit, submit the required files and look at this: school and last name, first name, and gift, last name, first name. So, look at here. It's the same as your ebook. You're submitting the same as your ebook. Now, later on, there might be some files that I will not require you to complete because, like, for example, I think Word Chapter 4 is a pretty long chapter. So you may want to just double check how many pages of instructions you're supposed to complete and what files you have to submit, okay? That way, you don't have to work too hard. I want you to learn, right? And it never hurts to do every step in the book. You're learning a lot. All right. So I would need to download this file to get started, okay? Now, when I'm done, of course, I would add the file to submit it. You can add them all at one time. You just simply drag and drop them all into the Dropbox and then, or into this add a file, and then you submit, okay, for the Dropbox. But I wanted to show you these instructions because a lot of people submitted only one file for Chapter 1. But if we went back and looked, I think Chapter 1 is closed to the student account now. If we went back and looked at the assignment instructions, just as Word Case 2 is telling you that you need to submit 2 files, the last assignment said that you had 3 files to submit. I'm sorry, let me pause this. Okay, so sorry about that. So make sure you are reading the assignment instructions. Very important. Now, we were talking about videos, and I was in my IT lab, and I opened my book, and we were just looking at page 1. So I'm going to advance to page 2 and read this. There's no harm. This will help you with the quizzes. And now I'm at the create a document, and I've got the steps here. And do you remember that this is where the video is? Now, I did give you a word of caution. For some reason, the .00 task, the video may not display correctly, okay? Do not be concerned about that. That's typically a step that you're going to feel comfortable with anyway, especially from the simulator. So I'm going to advance to another instruction. Okay, so I need to display the rulers. And I can read these instructions. If necessary, click the Home tab in the paragraph group, click the Show Hide button. What is this saying? And I just don't get it because sometimes it is hard to understand the instructions. But if I click and see this little circle with the triangle, if I click that, and I did cover this in the first video I sent, right? And the great thing about this, you can go back and you can play them, just like you can with this one. This video is going to
Microsoft Word 2016, Chapter 2, Blue Box 1, to display the rulers and begin editing. When you work with indents and margins, you need to specify placement in terms of inches. For example, for a research paper, you might want to indent a quote 1 inch from both the left and right margins. In addition, measurements are needed when you try to align graphics, tabs, tables, and charts. To use a ruler can simplify those settings by providing a visual guide of the measurements. Word provides both a vertical ruler and a horizontal ruler.
So here he's showing you the steps, view, and then he checked the ruler box. Now this entire video I want you to see down here is 1 minute and 9 seconds. Most of the videos are going to be 2 minutes or less. They may have a video that's 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but they're not 30-minute videos, okay? They're very short videos, and they're going to show you the steps. You can see it, and then you do it. And so it's really just following along. And in doing that, you learn, because this is really, that's what this part of our assignment is about, is learning how to do those steps, okay? All right, so I wanted to remind you of that. And if you're not, using these videos, because look at this, let's see, we go through 204, right? The steps are going to get harder, right? You're not going to know how to do everything in the book. So as we start getting to watermarks, look at that. How do we set it? How do we remove it? You might be trying to read these steps in the background group. Where's the background group? Click watermark and then custom watermark. It might be a little bit overwhelming. So if you find the beginning, I'm scrolling down here, find the beginning of these steps. Here, you'll always see in this upper corner this video box that's going to walk you through the instructions. There is, as I click on that, let me go back in, closed caption. See the closed caption there? And you just pick English, for example. It's the only choice, sorry. But
you might need to enhance a document with color.
And also you have, of course, the typed out instructions, but it's really nice to have that video, because in this case a picture is worth 1,000 words, but the video is probably worth 1,000,000, okay? Now, use that to make sure you don't have point loss. We were talking about viewing feedback under assessment and assignments, and you viewed your feedback for word case 1. We're making sure that you don't make further errors. You avoid point loss by submitting all the required files and completing every step in those blue box instructions. And if you don't understand a step, and perhaps you think you understand it, but you might want to use the video to make sure that you're doing it correctly, not just typing the file name, but using the quick part, for example, to insert it as a field. And the video will clarify that, so there's no misunderstanding. Okay, another quick recap. The bell notification does not give enough information. We went to assessment, we went to assignments, but now we're going to go to assessment and grades. Now, the one problem with going to assessment and grades is that if I have given you a picture as feedback, you will not see a link to it here. Okay, so that's one reason that I think for the cases you should go to assessment and assignment to get your feedback. Now, here I can look at my scores, and your scores are going to be a little better than mine, I am confident, because you have hopefully done the attendance quizzes, and so you should see that you have 5, not 0, but 5 out of 5 points for your attendance quiz. I know the first one is closed, but the second one opens and closes this weekend, and then the third one will open. These are easy points. Just go say, I'm here, answer those quizzes, and you'll be fine. Hopefully you got your introduction points. Those are 5. These are not bonus points. These are required. Hopefully you got your 5 bonus points there. Hopefully you have created your username into My IT Lab. Very important note. You do not need to use that 14-day free trial, because you paid for this when you enrolled in the course. You would only need that 14-day temporary access if you did not pay, you opted out somehow. So if you used the temporary access, it's not a problem. I did email you and I said you need to use the code as I explained in that first video. You need to use the payment which is on the home page for our course. Now, hopefully you completed your Word 1 simulator, and hopefully you got full points. This is really about spending the time with it, because you know you have the practice and the simulator, and I did show that to you in the first video, okay? And I'm going to come back to make sure that you have the information you need for the Word 1 simulator, just recapping some of the things I touched on that maybe make a little bit more sense to you now. As I scroll down, and that's all I'm doing is scrolling down the page, I hope that you finished your Word 1 pause quiz. Where did the answers for the Word 1 pause quiz come from? The book. So hopefully you're using your book to look up answers, so that you can get a perfect score. Repeating that quiz as necessary to get the best score possible, because hopefully you're looking at the syllabus, which tells you I only record your highest score. There's no penalty for repeating that quiz, so why not repeat it? It takes time, which means you have to make a schedule. You got to plan, right? You got to plan. If you're doing this last minute, yeah, you're going to run into problems, I am certain. Okay, as I scroll down, here again is our case, pause ebook. And once again, I see word case 1. There's my 18 out of 20. And again, here's that feedback. Sure, you can absolutely look at your feedback in this way. In this situation, it's going to work out fine. But if I make note to you that see attached feedback picture or see attached feedback file, you're going to be going, where is this file? You won't be able to get from it here. You would have to go back to assessment and then assignments. Okay? So detailed feedback, how did I find that? Better scroll down. Very long page here, but very important page. Lots and lots of information here. But this is the paycheck, so you should be looking at it, just that simple. Okay, so we have all that. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Before we finish, I want to give you some, a pointer to a helpful resource that if you haven't explored the course, you may have overlooked. That is in content. I'm going back here. In content, we talked about the importance of this Getting Started tab and how you had all this information, including, and we looked at these subcategories here, like the syllabus and the schedule. We had all that, right? Syllabus and the online schedule. Most important thing, if you are not sure what assignments you need to submit, that's where the schedule is very much going to help you. So, we're in week 2 right now. So I need to be working on Word Workshop 2 Simulator. And where is that? That's going to be in my IT lab. I need to be working on the Word Quiz 2. Where is that? It's in Pause. And I need to be working on Word Case 2, and that's in Pause, and I just showed you that. There is an optional assignment. Don't worry about that right now. If you are overwhelmed, you don't need to take on anything additional, okay? So focus on completing the required assignments. Okay, let's go back. I'm going back, table of contents. I'm under content. Here we go. I'm still under Getting Started because I want to point you to a helpful resource. And that is, you have pause help here, supplemental. And there's some videos, some that were created by your instructor, some that were created by the library. And very important, My IT Lab help. Okay, here's how to register using the 14-day free trial. But remember, I showed you in the video to our class how to use the code that you paid for. Look at how to get technical support. How do I do that? There's a link. How do I begin in My IT Lab? How do I complete a simulator? I just saw that I have one due. How do I do that? Well, this video, this is a YouTube video, and it's great. It's going to show you, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but it's going to show you everything you need to know.
Hi there, this is Armand, and I'm a student at the University of Cincinnati.
And I don't know why it
Over the next few minutes,
way.
I'm going to introduce you to...
Yep, bloop, okay. And now we're going to go into, I don't know what they've done to that video, but you have that little 10-second blurb, and then it's going to start into what I would call the real video. Now, this one is a little longer, but look, in this, I showed you I had the bar along the bottom. They have their information bar over here. As you go through this is going to make you feel so comfortable because you are going to see all kinds of, information. I'm going to skip. Yeah.
In that folder.
Okay, I'm trying to skip ahead a little bit.
We're going to get a link that we can send to anyone we want.
See, and if you're saying I don't even know what he's talking about, maybe you should watch the video, right?
So I did a copy in the prior step.
Okay. My point is that's a resource for you. So that was under My IT. Okay. Content, table of contents, under Getting Started. There's some folders here, and all your content is nicely organized so that you have content for My IT help, and you have some things, some resources to help you. Okay. Now, as I continue, that was the Getting Started folder. The third tip that I have for you is all these folders here. We just completed Word Module 1, and I would hope that you are exploring the class. And as you enter Word Module 1, maybe this could be a good guide for you. If you're confused, if you're lost, trying to figure out what you need to do in the course, here are the objectives. These are the things that you're going to learn. You read that, right? Go to the next page. Okay, these are animated slides, PowerPoint slides. You can look at that. This is going to take you through the slides. This is a little more than I want to do right now, so I'm going to close that. Oops, yeah, starting to talk to me there. So those were the Word Workshop 1 narrated slides. I'm going to click to the next resource and pause. And now I see my assignments. And see how under Word 1 Workshop, I now see my assigned activities. So what was assigned? Word Quiz 1. Well, I can't find Word Quiz 1. Well, just go to Content. Everything you need is right here under Content. And I could go to the quiz, right? I even see the due dates. Well, what about the simulator? You know the simulator is not in pause. So what I do is I basically say to you, this is where you do. You go to My IT Lab, complete the simulator. Need help with the simulator? Look, there's a link to that video I just showed you. Still having trouble? Don't forget to enable pop-ups. Don't forget to use different browsers like Chrome and Firefox. And if you've tried all that and it's still not working, you're still having trouble, this is the Pearson help number, right? So now I want to look at my next assigned activity. And I have this optional grader. Do I have to do that? No, because when I looked at my class schedule, it told me that that was optional. Okay, so this might help you, I guess is what I'm saying, keep you focused on what you're supposed to do in the class. You're just working through your class schedule. You're working through, each one of these folders until you get to the end. Okay? I hope that helps. The most important thing here is, the different ways to look at your feedback, assignments, grades. This is the quick, here's the number, but it doesn't give you any, I'm so sorry. It doesn't give you any real feedback, so just be aware of that. I know the video is a little bit long, but remember we don't get together for class. And based on not even the majority, there was a perfect score. There were several students who, were just almost a perfect score, did very well. There were also students that were confused, and so maybe submitted only one file. And so I want to make sure that you have the instructions that you need. Now, that being said, I'm going to do these videos a couple times like this, pointing you to it. If you're not watching the videos, then you're not hearing me right now. But hopefully you will when I point you back to it, right? So anyway, this video is here for information. And don't forget, study groups with your classmates are great. Don't do the work for them. Are you going to go to the job and do the work for them? If they get tested as part of the interview, are you going to be there so that you can take the test for them? What's going to happen then? They're going to get fired when they get on the job. So you don't want to do it for them. That's really not helping. It's really not helping. In fact, it's kind of stealing because you're taking their educational opportunity away. But what you can do, give them some confidence, point them to the videos, tell them the resources like you, help them understand how to learn the instructions. And of course, I'm here via email with these videos. There's the Academic Support Center. You can even say, I just need help in pause. I just need help trying to get into this My Lab software. I just need help with this particular area. And they'll be glad to help you. And they are typically a little more available. There's computers on campus that have Microsoft Word installed on them. Most public libraries have computers, and those computers are equipped with Microsoft Word, so you can use that. So you have a lot of supports here to help you be a success, and I hope you take advantage of those. Thank you, folks, and I will be talking to you in the days ahead.